就是那个透明胶卷成一个椭圆形的一块物品，就卷成一块椭圆形的物品，闻着很臭，有味道。喷解方式是用刀，有切、有割、有砍的这么一个动作。
The beautiful woman watched herself being chopped into 108 pieces alive until her head was cut off with a knife. This was a major murder and dismemberment case in Haikou, Hainan. This was also the only brain-burning mystery in Haikou that was featured on CCTV. The most arrogant thing about this case was that the murderer did not choose to throw the body far away or bury it nearby after killing and dismembering it. Instead, he threw the body parts into an artificial lake where no one noticed it in full view of the public. Can you bear this? The police spared no effort to launch a comprehensive investigation. However, the identity of the suspect was reversed again and again. If you don't believe it, just keep reading. The time was March 16, 2001. The location was Haikou, Hainan, China. Grandpa Wang got up early and rushed to the site of Donghu Station to dance square dance. A breeze blew across the lake. Suddenly, a smell of ecstasy entered Grandpa Wang's nose. Following the smell, he looked carefully and saw two wild suitcases, one large and one small, floating on the lake. Friends all know that the suitcases either contain RMB or renminbi. Grandpa Wang guessed that it must be the former, so he quickly fished them out. However, smelling the soul-shaking smell, Grandpa Wang still didn't have the courage to open it and take a look. He quickly called the police. After receiving the call, the police immediately arrived at the scene of the crime. The police opened the big suitcases and found a smelly human torso wrapped in transparent tape. Oh my! Oh my God, there is no head, only knees and arms. This is really scary. It is a complete dismemberment case. The police conducted a preliminary investigation and confirmed that the torso belonged to a woman under the age of 99. The police then opened the small suitcase and found a woman's head and lower limbs. After a detailed inspection by the police, they found that there were 3 kinds of marks on the body, namely cutting and gnawing. In addition, the way the plastic bags were tied in the 2 suitcases was completely different. It can be judged that the murderer had at least 4 hands. 3 used saw blades were also found in the suitcase. The forensic autopsy showed that the woman was about 23 years old and had not been sexually assaulted. She died of mechanical neck asphyxiation on March 11. The place where the body was dumped was chosen in the city center. Donghu Lake. According to common sense, shouldn't the murderer choose a remote place to dump the body? Donghu Lake is an artificial lake in the city center. Many people usually exercise here. If the murderer didn't bring the box from a distance by car, then the first murder scene might be nearby. But there was no surveillance equipment in this area at the time of the crime. Who is the murderer? Who is the deceased? How many murderers are there? These questions are like a mess, lingering in the minds of the police. They can't be sorted out at all. Like a headless fly. Just when the police were in a panic, a man named Lin Junjie came to the Public Security Bureau to report that his Hubei girlfriend Wang Hong was missing. He was only on a business trip to Guangdong for a month. He never thought that when he came back, he would find his girlfriend Wang Hong missing. The friend was missing. The police's brains suddenly lit up like a light bulb. They immediately thought of the Donghu dismemberment case. They took action immediately and found Wang Hong's family without stopping. They conducted a DNA comparison. As expected, the deceased was indeed Wang Hong. The source of the corpse was determined. The case was basically half solved. The police then followed this clue and launched a full investigation. If they didn't investigate, they wouldn't know. It turned out that Wang Hong came to Haikou from his hometown in Hubei 3 years ago and sold alcohol in a karaoke bar. His social relations were so complicated that there was no way to find out. According to his colleagues, after get off work on March 9, Wang Hong went home alone and disappeared. During the investigation, the police found that J.J. Lin lied. He said that he had just returned to Haikou from another place when he reported the case. In fact, he returned 3 days before the incident. He did not return to the place he and Wang Hong rented. He lived in a friend's house. It turned out that Wang Hong was breaking up with him. He even changed the door lock. J.J. Lin explained that he stopped pestering Wang Hong after seeing his firm attitude. He reported the case because he thought it was Wang Hong after seeing the missing body notice. As for lying, he said that he was afraid that the public security organs would suspect him, so he lied that he returned to Haikou after the incident. The police inspected Wang Hong's residence and J.J. Lin's friend's house. No blood or signs of fighting were found. The possibility that these two places were the first seen was ruled out. At this time, the investigator sent a message. The place where the suitcases were sold was found. The owner recalled on March 13, a man about 1.65 meters tall, with a fat body and dark skin, bought 2 identical suitcases at one time. It was confirmed that he was not J.J. Lin. Half a month after the incident, J.J. Lin was not ruled out as a suspect. The person who bought the suitcases became a key clue. But it would be too much work to find someone based on this vague information. It would almost require a citywide investigation. This is really a big project. But there was good news from the other side. Wang Hong's colleague said that the day before Wang Hong was killed, a fellow villager named Xiong Gu behaved abnormally at the door of the unit. There were signs of dodging and peeking. Doubts Wang Hong's colleague's description of brother Xiong. Looked very similar to the person who bought the suitcases as described by the suitcase owner. The police re-examined Wang Hong's social relationships and focused on finding this brother Xiong. Unexpectedly, they found 2 brother Xiongs. Lu Xiong and Zhang Xixiang were both from Hubei, Wang Hong. The 3 of them came to Haikou together. Wang Hong and her boyfriend had also been to Zhang Xixiang's residence. After the incident, Lu Xiong and Zhang Xixiang were no longer in the rental house. There were still a lot of things left in the house. The landlord's description of Zhang Xixiang's appearance. The same as the suitcase owner's. The police immediately took a train overnight. Flashed to Hubei to look for him. The 2 quickly found Lu Xiong. Although he knew Wang Hong, there was contact. But he was with his friends on March 10th and 11th. Someone confirmed that he did not commit the crime. Lu Xiong also revealed. 3 days before Wang Hong was killed. When he was taking drugs with Zhang Xixiang and Lu Zijuan. He was worried about the money for drugs. Discussed asking Wang Hong for money. He also said that if it didn't work, he would kill him. Lu Xiong was afraid of being implicated. After Wang Hong got into trouble, he hurriedly left Haikou. But this trip was not in vain. The police got Zhang Xixiang's photo from Lu Xiong. After Wang Hong's colleagues and the suitcase owner identified it. The day before Wang Hong got into trouble. The person who came to him and bought the suitcase was Zhang Xixiang. This guy is a major suspect in the crime. The police then flashed to Zhang Xixiang's hometown. After squatting for a week. But they didn't find a hair. This guy seemed to have evaporated from the face of the earth. But from Lu Xiong. We learned where Lu Zijuan lived in Haikou. The police took the train back to Haikou overnight. Then whooshed to Lu Zijuan's rental house. In the end, it was all in vain. Through asking the landlord, we found that after the crime, he and his girlfriend Li Dafan hurried away. The landlord took out the ID card that Lu Zijuan left when he rented the house. This ID card was not Lu Zijuan's at all. This made the police very angry. They were almost going crazy. But at least they got some results. They confirmed that Lu Zijuan was a major suspect. Can you imagine which good person would use a fake ID card? In 2001, information was not well developed. Fingerprint databases, household registration databases, etc. Many technical means were not perfect. There were not many ways to find people except traditional joint investigation and online pursuit. These 3 people disappeared for 6 years. Until 2007, news came from Beijing that the police found a suspicious person during the population check. After investigation, it was Zhang Xixiang. When Zhang Xixiang saw the police, he quickly admitted that he knew Wang Hong and knew that he was killed. He said that Lu Zijuan came up with the idea. According to his account, he and Lu Zijuan discussed borrowing money from Wang Hong. On March 9 he hid at the door of Wang Hong's unit and waited for him to get off work. Unexpectedly, Wang Hong did not go to work that day. The next day, he tricked Wang Hong to the hotel that Lu Zijuan had opened in advance, under the pretext of a friend's party. He did not enter the room because he was afraid. Later, under Lu Zijuan's instructions, he bought 2 suitcases and sent them to the door of the hotel. He could not explain what happened afterwards. However, the police could not convict him based on his confession and the identification of the suitcase shop owner. They had to find accomplices to verify. The police began to look for Lu Zijuan and Li Dafan with all their strength. It was said that Li Dafan worked at a hotel in Qianjiang, Hubei. But in Qianjiang, thousands of restaurants, most of them are women, and the staff turnover is fast. They visited for more than 20 days, and only checked some restaurants, and did not find any hair. Because Li Dafan, he is an online fugitive, and he cannot use his real name, and he may use an alias. The police decided to go to Li Dafan's hometown, and try to find his photo. When Li Dafan's mother faced the police's questioning, she answered fluently, which made the police suspicious. A notebook full of phone numbers was found in his home, and there was a number, and the 3 words Tian Dafan were specially marked. When Li Dafan's mother entered the house to look for photos, the police quickly write down all the phone calls. At this time, Li Dafan's mother came out with her daughter's photo. The police saw Li Dafan's photo for the first time. It felt like she was right in front of them but also very far away. Soon after they left, it was learned that Li Dafan's mother asked relatives to notify Li Kuei. Li Kuei was Li Dafan's brother who worked in Shenzhen. The police checked the call records. Found a number marked as Tian Dafan. It was from Enshi, Hubei. It had frequent contacts with numbers from Shenzhen. This Shenzhen number only made calls to 3 places in Shenzhen, Li Dafan's home in Changyang, Hubei, and Fuzhou, Fujian. Every call to Fuzhou was the same A number. And this number in Fuzhou only communicates with these 3 places. They judged the number in Fuzhou might be Li Dafan's. The police immediately rushed to Fuzhou from Hubei. With the help of the local police, the number was registered by Jiang Li. After comparison, the reward was indeed Li Dafan. In the police station, Li Dafan told a story completely different from Zhang Xixiang's. He confessed that Lu Zijuan had said Zhang Xixiang instigated them to kill Wang Hong. Zhang Xixiang tricked Wang Hong into a hotel, forced him to tell where he hid the money and then killed him. He and Lu Zijuan went to Wang Hong's house. Took after receiving more than 4,000 yuan in cash, he left, leaving Zhang Xixiang at the hotel. But there was still no news about Lu Zijuan. Li Dafan said he had been arrested long ago. According to the clues, the police actually found Lu Zijuan in prison. He confessed to the crime, which was consistent with Li Dafan's confession. In the face of evidence, Zhang Xixiang had to admit that he planned and participated in the murder of Wang Hong together with Lu Zijuan. He waited in the hotel for 2 days. After finding that the money had been taken away, he bought a suitcase and threw Wang Hong's body into Donghu Lake. After investigating the case, the police finally confirmed that this was a case of joint crime by Zhang Xixiang and Lu Zijuan, killing and dismembering the body together. In the end, Zhang Shixiang was sentenced to death, Lu Zijuan was sentenced to death and executed in 2 years, and Li Dafan was sentenced to 3 years in prison. This case is really tortuous and bizarre. However, good cannot prevail over evil. No matter how cunning a fox is, it cannot defeat a good hunter. Just like the popular saying goes, justice may be late, but it will never be absent.